Hello everybody, today is Friday the 18th of July and today I want to bake a Zopf with you guys. That is that braided bread and it's a Swiss specialty, Spezialität in German, and it uses Zopfmehl, and Zopfmehl is a mix between normal wheat flour and there's some Dinkelmehl, some spelt flour mixed into it, so it's more elastic and you can form it better. That's why we use that for the braided bread, so it keeps its form. It's actually, there's more gluten in here than, it's the opposite of gluten-free. The spelt adds more gluten, that's why it's more formable. That was that. Okay, we start with 500 grams of flour, which is 4 cups of flour. And it should be 500 because I always make 500s. It's a bit less, but it's okay. And then I need 65 to 75 grams of butter. And that is about a third cup of a cup, or a bit more than half a butter stick. A butter stick is about 60 grams, and we need about 65 to 75. So, okay. And then we put that in. I think I'm going for 70. Oh, it's 60. Yeah. Or 65. So that's actually all we do with a scale. Now I take it off. And now we rub it in. We rub in the butter into the flour. So it needs to be cold, the butter. And I have the tip from Tina. She does freeze her butter stick first and then she grates it in with a grater. With a normal vegetable grater or something. And that's a good idea. I think I've tried it without freezing it and that didn't work out so well. Okay, so it takes a while. I just want all those bigger butter parts to be small. And then it's all finer. So you can still see some bigger ones, but also there's a lot of smaller ones. Yeah, you can call it done at one point. So, okay. And now, wash my hands. Okay, we need about a teaspoon of salt. But it's not wet anymore. I go with about that much. It's a bit more than a teaspoon. So, then I mix it in. And so far it's nearly the same as making broad. But now we do something different. Okay. For one thing, we use milk for that. And you need to have the liquid warm for the dough to proof better. So we will put that on the stove. Okay, actually I wouldn't need the scale because I could take my measuring cups, but I don't want to wash it afterwards, and milk and grams works out fine. I need 3 deciliters of milk, and that is 1 1/3 cup, 1 1/3 of a cup, or about 10 ounces. And I can just go here and go for 300 grams. Then I don't have to wash my cup, my measuring cup. But it's 3 deciliters, 300 milliliters, 10 ounces. Well, that was too much. I can add it in my coffee. I have milk and coffee. Okay. Now I put that on the heat, but don't put it on high, just a little bit. It just needs to warm up a bit. When it gets too hot, it would break the yeast, and we don't want that. We want the yeast to work. And this is the part I wanted to show you because I think that's fun. So I have a fresh yeast, which is enough for 1 kilo of Brot, or Zopf in our case. And I take it out of the package, put it in a mug, and now I add about a tablespoon of sugar over it. That is more. Yeah, well. Take that out. That is a bit too much. Yeah, about a tablespoon and you're fine. Okay, and now I'm taking a metal spoon because my plastic spoons, they will break. And I will just smoosh it in and mix it with the sugar. And then it gets liquid, and I think that's very fun. So it's very crumbly and stuff. And at some point through the sugar, it gets liquid. And you can do that when you make a broth also, or you can crumble it into the dough. So, but I think you need the sugar for that to happen, and you don't often put sugar into broth. Okay, now it's like this, and then it gets more and more liquid, smoother and smoother. Like this one. Now it's all running. Okay, now attention to the milk so it warms up but not too hot. And then we just add it in here. Like with the broth, that's the Flüssigkeit, the liquid we need. And normally you will make a little ditch, and then you add that here. And I always use the milk then to wash it out. I don't do that now, but okay, this is warmish, so I don't want to burn my finger. And I still can't knead it by hand because my hands are broken. I would love to show that to you. Okay, this is warm. I'll switch it off. And how do I want to do that? I'll put a bit in here. Trickle anyway. Wash it out. And then put in the rest. And put it in my machine and knead it for about 12 minutes. I've switched a bit. I put you on a very different spot. Put it in my machine. Get my bread hook and let it knead. There's a whatever. This oh, it's not plugged in. I did Hoover this morning, so it's not plugged in. Okay. Well, this is where I put the camera because I wanted to have that leg on here, but then the others are too short, so I can put it there. And I realized I can pull it out and get closer to there. Depending on how the dough is behaving, I sometimes check it, how moist it is, how I do say that word a lot. And here you see it's very sticky on the hook. And also I checked it because it felt like it's not moving around in the bowl. It's always kind of on the same spot and stuck to the bottom of the bowl. So I adjusted with a little flour, and you see I just take 2 tiny teaspoons full of flour, and that makes a big difference. So if you want to adjust the flour or the water in the dough, you need to go with very, very small dosages. And this is a little later. The dough is behaving better now, so I take it off the hook again. And I also, sometimes the dough sticks to the bowl because there's still stuff stuck to it. And if it wouldn't stick to the bowl, the dough wouldn't stick to the stuff that sticks to the bowl. So I take it off, and then hopefully it doesn't stick there again. But you see, I can clean the hook way better now. And now I think I just let it knead for the rest of the time. This is now after 12 minutes because everything is in one bowl, as a ball, a dough ball. So here's my dough. And very play-doughy. Very smooth. And now I put it in my proving bowl. So here it is, my proving bowl, very smooth, and I put the lid on and I wait until it's about double its size. 1, 2, 3 hours. And before I had my proving bowl, I just used a big dough bowl. It needs to be a bit wide, not too cylindric, so it can rise and prove, because the dough stops proving when it touches the edges. And then I took one of my garbage bags, one of the smaller ones, and I put that in a bag and closed it up. And afterwards I hang it on my fridge and use it for garbage, so it's not for nothing. Or you can use cellophane wrap around it, but the garbage bag you can use again. Here's the dough. It's about double its size. And now I will make it small again. Just knead it again. And then we're gonna make one big braided bread. Okay. I want to take half. And maybe you need some flour, maybe not. And then you make 2 big strands. It would be fine if it were thicker in the middle and smaller at the ends. This one isn't, so I'm trying to get it that way. Okay, 2. Could be nicer, but yeah. Now I take one like this and put one on top like that. Make a cross. And often I do it wrong, and I just have to remember those are my under ones and they go on top. So I take the ones that are opposite of each other, and this is my top up here and this is down. So this needs to be on top, so it needs to be over that one on that side. And this shouldn't happen. Now with those, this needs to be on top. So this is top, so this needs to be over there. And now this one I want on top, so it goes over. And the same with that on top. This on top. Well, I hope you saw that. Is it wrong again now? Oh no, I don't know which one. This on top, and then just put it together a bit. So now you can see here it's braided correctly, and here it gets a bit weird. So this is how you do a Zopf, braided bread with 2 strands. And then I put it on my baking sheet. I will egg wash it and then let it rise again. So I'm just scrambling it. I think there was some shallot in there. Shell? And then I egg wash it. And with the rest, I will make a scrambled egg later on. Or something. Or cook it with my vegetables. Oh, a great idea. So this is for the color and the shine. You can do it without, and it's not closed here. Yeah. And sometimes I do it without it. I do this for the camera now. And when I do it without it, I will wash my Zopf after baking with milk, like I did the water for the bread, because it gives it a little shine too and makes it less crunchy on the outside. Okay, so I have those cool lids and they fit on my cups. Okay, and now I put my bowl back over it and hope it doesn't touch it. Maybe I don't. I just leave it like that. Let it rise for about half an hour. Then I'll preheat the oven to 200 degrees or 220 Celsius. Well, it actually looks pretty bad how it's all ripped. So I did something wrong. Maybe I should have let it rest a bit more or something. Yeah, this is not perfect. I'm still gonna bake it and it's gonna be good. But this is not what should happen. Yeah. Maybe again, I'm lowering the threshold for everybody to try it out. And now I'm gonna bake it for about 30 minutes. A bit further down in the oven. Okay, it's only about 20 minutes later. And now I cool it off. You can also do the knock test. You could do a bit longer, but so. Well, this is not how it usually turns out. So let it cool down a bit. And now I want to have a piece. Okay. Just like that. And I like eating it with butter and honey, but it's also good like that. And now I thank you very much for watching and see you in the next one.